Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the finale of Bashing Women Week. Some people will see it as such, and that's not what it's intended to be, but yeah, it is all about women's related stuff, and me as a non-woman, right, I have no say in any of that. No, that's absolutely true, actually. I'm not a woman, I'm a man, transitioned to a woman, dressed as a woman, taking the role as a woman, but I'm not really a woman. So, transgender woman who's, not gonna get into that. But today, to wrap it up, we're gonna be talking about feminism and why I am not a feminist. So, okay, here's the thing. People thought I was a feminist at one point. I guess before I publicly came out and said I'm not a feminist. No, I don't believe in that. Here's the thing. I think ever since I've heard that term and knew what it was, I've never been a feminist, ever. I've never. I don't know how long I've known about it, but yeah, I've never sided with it. And here's the thing. The message, I mean, feminism today is not like what it used to be back, years and years ago. I think the message has changed very much so, and now I think it's very degrading to women now, actually. I think if someone, buys into the feminism, I see it as a brainwashed cult. And that's, I'm going to get into that. So here's the thing. I think the overall message is meant to be equal rights for women, equal rights women should have that a man has. I agree with that, absolutely, 100%. Everyone is equal. Everyone should be treated equal. A man, a woman, a transgender person, doesn't matter what your gender is, what your gender identity is, doesn't matter what your sex is, doesn't matter what your race is, doesn't matter any of that or any kind of disability you have. You should always be treated equally. I agree with that 100%. Because I know, when I've said before I'm not a feminist, people said, what, you don't believe in equal rights for women? That's not what it's about at all. I do believe in that. But here's the thing. Feminism is a brainwashed cult. It is, if you've ever seen any of the feminist posts online, like that, I've seen some of the posts from that Everyday Feminism site, and it is just pure propaganda that has no basis in reality whatsoever. Some of the things that they're saying, they are intentionally making women and people of color and anything. I mean, I've seen various posts, and it's not just feminism. It's any kind of minority or anything that's, not cisgender white male, anything besides that. I feel as though they purposefully do them disservice by pointing out all these things that have no basis in reality and making up stuff that doesn't actually exist and essentially targeting these individuals and shaming them. So, here is the thing. I feel as though they are victimizing these people. The minority people, the people who are different, okay? It may not look like it, but I think they're upplaying a lot of what these people are, how these people are oppressed. I think that it's definitely a big upplay. But here's the thing, with any kind of cult, here's how you identify the cult, okay? And it can be a religious cult. This feminism is a big cult. It can even be, this is one of the first ones that I saw, the religious cult and also the vegan cult. I believe those are all cults. You can be a feminist and not be part of the cult. You can be religious, a Christian or Jewish or Muslim and not be part of the cult. But you can also be, you can be vegan and not be part of the cult. But you can also be part of the cult. And here is what the cult is, okay? It's not about a movement. It's not about equal rights. It's not about allowing people to be educated and aware, because I'm all for that. I really am. People should know about different religions. People should respect other people's religions. People should respect other people's life choices. But that's not what these cults are about. What these cults are about brainwashing. They are essentially about forcefully putting an image out there, making it look drastic and severe to try to convince you to join. When you're inside the cult, everyone agrees with you. It's like this wonderful, wonderful thing. It's like they just indoctrinated you into this cult. That's like, yay, it's so wonderful. Everyone here agrees. We will never judge you here. We accept all your ideas as long as they fit our own agenda. And we accept you and love you. We will help you out any way you can. Again, as long as you fit their agenda. The moment you question anything, the moment you think outside the box, you're not welcome there anymore. No. I'm someone who thinks outside the box. I'm someone who always asks questions and always wonders things all the time. That's how I am. That's how my personality is. That's how I've been since I've been a little kid. I would always ask my grandparents, you know, what is this? What is that? How does this function? Because that's how I am. I'm very technical, and I like knowing how things work, why things are the way that they are, because it doesn't just happen. It happens for a reason. And I know I've seen with some transgender people, they say some of these transgender activists tend to be feminists as well, these people. They would say, don't ask the question as to why transgender people exist, because that is discriminatory. We just exist, so accept us. Like, hold on a minute, why can't you ask the question? Why can't you ask that question? It doesn't make any sense to me why you can't ask the question why someone exists. It's not meant to be discriminatory, but okay. And with these feminists, there are plenty of feminists on YouTube, and I've even had I left a comment on one of these feminist videos. It wasn't even about feminism, it was about mental health, and I was talking about SSRI medications being mind control medications, because they essentially are when you think about it. If you're taking it for your mind, it controls your mind. And they just, you know, they post that on Twitter and everything, and I reply back to her because I don't have any shame in what I said, but you can just see how everyone just follows the cult there. This feminism, because no one thinks outside the box. It's like, okay, well, if you're calling these things a conspiracy, if you're calling these things that they don't exist, have you ever... So if you've never had a conversation with someone about these things, if you've never bothered to have a debate with someone, a reasonable debate where you're both listening to one another, because it's a lot of debates are banter back and forth without even listening at all, then how can you form any kind of view of your own? And here's the thing, I mean, we're all guilty of it. I myself am guilty of it. You know, I resonate with more alternative practices, alternative views. So when I watch those things, it's like, yeah, I totally agree with this. And when I'm looking at something that I don't agree with, like, no, I don't agree with this, I don't want to watch this. But here's the thing, you should always watch that. You should always check that out. You should always learn about both sides. That's how you learn to make your own views. So when people shun one another for having an opposing view, saying that they are wrong and I am right, then that is where a real problem comes into play. And that's what a lot of feminism does. I feel as though feminism is really about, more so, not about equal rights for women, but how women are better than everyone else. How women are better than men. That is what I see, because what they do is that with these feminism cults, they make women out to be the victim. They say, here, we are the victim here. Here's what we're going to do to make other people feel bad for us. Here's what we're going to do to essentially make it appear like we are oppressed in this way that isn't as bad as we're saying it is, or we're going to say that it's pretty bad so people feel bad for us and come and join the cult to rise up and do better. And I find that interesting because when you look at a lot of these feminist posts, they're so over the top excited when a woman is doing something that a man used to do, okay? And that's great. I mean, equality for all. You know, a lot of these women were like first female president. You know, it's like, okay, well, do you want your first female president to be someone who someone who just recently ran who should not be a president? Or would you want your first female president to be someone that you're actually proud of, who's done a lot of good, who should not, you know, who's not this, well, I'm not going to go into a political debate there, but, you know, you understand what I'm saying. It's like voting for a woman just because she's a woman. So it's kind of like if you have something else and there's like 5 different people and one of them is a woman, the feminists would most likely, regardless of what the woman wants, vote for the woman because she's a woman. That's not equality. What that is single-handedly singling that person out. They're singling that person out, which is sexist. Okay? Here's something else you can kind of tie into this as well. Okay. Let's say on a TV show or on a music video or something like that. The director wants more diversity. Diversity is great. It's wonderful to see people of different cultures and religions and beliefs just getting along, and that's great. That's wonderful. But here's the thing. When you're purposefully picking those people out, is that not racist? Think about it. Okay, so let's say I'm like, okay, I don't have any friends that are of this race. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to intentionally try to find friends that are of that race, just so I'm not racist. So you're essentially singling a race out to make yourself not look like something. That is what's the definition of racist right there. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, like, you should treat everyone equally, regardless of what they are, regardless of what their beliefs are. If you don't have a certain friend of a certain gender or race or religion, that doesn't make you anything negative. That just means that you just don't have a friend like that. And it's like when you're making a movie and you're casting someone who is, let's say, well, there's no black people in this movie. We have to get one so we can appeal to the black audience and we don't appear racist. When you're singling them out, that does seem a bit racist. So your intentions may be good and positive, but it's like, why the need to single them out? And that's what the feminism does. It singles out women, objectifies them, and I think it does the opposite. It does a disservice to women, and it makes women and feminists look bad. That is what I think. That's why I would never be a feminist. I am not a feminist. I will never be a feminist. I do not buy into cults. I do not buy into that brainwashing. That's what feminism is all about, 100%. When you look at all these feminists, oh my gosh, it's just, when you see some of these feminist people on YouTube, they do this thing. I'm like, is that a feminist thing? Because I've seen like 5 different feminists doing that. It's like, oh, no, no. And their high-pitched gets kind of voice, like kind of like narcissistic-like. It's like, huh. Yeah, that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. It makes you wonder. So, yeah, feminism. I don't have anything against a feminist, but I do not buy into if they're in a brainwash cult. You can be a feminist, and I'll be fine with you. But if you're in the brainwash cult, then it's going to be some issues. You're going to get angry and yell at me and get angry at me for all this nonsense. And it's like, what did I do? What did I do? So, yep. And that's another thing. The only other thing that I've heard is the term TERF, which people have mentioned to me, have called me that. Trans exclusionary radical feminists. And feminists who don't consider trans women women. I mean, trans women, as I said early on, I am a woman, I identify as a woman, but that doesn't make me biologically a woman. So that's like another reason why I wouldn't want to be a feminist. How could I promote something and be part of something if I'm not actually that? I'm not actually a woman biologically. I mean, that shouldn't make a difference, absolutely. I get that. But to me, it does. I don't want to be part of something that it's like, you know. So, yeah. I'm sure I had more to say. I just kind of went on and on here. But that was pretty much it. So what are your thoughts on this? I'd love to hear them. Feminism. It's just funny. It is. It's just funny. So, I'm going to end it now. Thank you for watching these 3 set of videos, even if you didn't agree with any of them. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay. Bye-bye.